And what can be frustrating with you, even your bad shots, it's not like it's this crazy bad miss, but you're not striking enough.
Yeah.
Okay, compared to the guys that are beating
Yeah. Yeah.
you. Okay, so let's take a look here. 4 steps, 5 steps, it doesn't matter to me. I have several pros I can share with 4 and 5. The timing is almost identical. Okay,
Usually it's OZO that you always like showing.
and we'll switch it up a little bit then. I don't want to use the same people all the time. Now, you plant instead of slide. I don't care about that so much either.
Well, we talked last year. The last time we said, you said I'm very close to sliding. You could probably get me to slide
Right.
pretty easily.
Now, the later you are, the more pronounced the plant tends to be.
Okay.
Okay? There's more good than bad in your game, as always. Okay, so this will be kind of tweaking and fine tuning, not overhaul.
Okay.
Okay?
Always keep that.
If you're ready for the junkyard, I tell you, you're not. Okay? Stands fine. I wouldn't change it. Okay, now, you know how timing works. I'm going to put you in slow motion here. Your foot's on the ground, your arm hasn't moved yet.
That is correct.
Okay? I'm going to pull up last time you were here. And we'll go to the first shot last time you were here before we worked on anything. This is 5-step, obviously.
Oh God, I put on weight.
Well, that was a dark shirt. The dark shirt's more slimming. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
And
Okay.
I do have the wrist,
Yep. And it was 5 steps. So let's go to the end of step 2, so it's comparable.
but now I'm moving.
You're actually later now than you were before. Look where your elbow is.
Yeah,
It's
just-
later now than
yeah,
before. Okay. So I'm not saying go back to 5. We're going to work on getting that ball in motion a little bit more fluidly. Okay. All right. That's where you should be after step 1. Elbow toward the front of the side, not quite locked. Ball about waist belt level. You're there at 1.5. Whenever we see motion out on 2, obviously you weren't done with a push right hand 1. Okay. So that's probably a little bit too late for you. You may always be later than other bowlers.
Right.
You're going to get into trouble and be more frustrated when you get too late for you.
And that's my key thing. It's like I'll be at
Right.
the line, the ball's back there, you got to bring it through. There's no
Correct.
way you're going to make a good shot.
Now, there are several ways to catch up, the most common way being pulling
Yeah.
to accelerate. The other way, feet can get slower to give you more time. So, and sometimes when the feet get slow, you feel more methodical or almost kind of clunky footwork-wise. So if you feel that, you're probably pushing later, causing the feet to react. Okay. Another way you can catch up, and this is not really a conscious choice, but your body can keep your backswing lower so it doesn't take as long.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I can believe that too.
Even if that ball were around here, it would make a big difference. Okay. Classic perfect timing with a 4-step, yeah, we want it somewhere in here. I don't care if you have classic perfect timing. I think if you had classic perfect timing like OZO, your body would rebel because it would be really different. Okay. End of step 3. Once you close to the top of the backswing, not quite there yet, but now you are. But that wasn't crazy off time. But notice relatively low backswing. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have a relatively slow ball speed.
No. Right. Now I will say in my defense, I do have a pretty long lever.
Correct.
I have long arms.
Yes. Okay.
So that will help
That will help.
a little bit.
Like I said at the end, now we're going to reference people that plant. When people plant when the foot's all the way on the ground,
Right.
that ball should be by the back leg. Pretty close within a couple inches.
Right.
Okay. When people slide, the ball's more here. So you're close to in time for people that plant, even though you're late
In the beginning.
on steps 2 and 3,
Right.
which means yeah, you're pulling to catch up. That's what good bowlers do. Their body catches up. Okay, and I included you in that group of good bowlers,
I
in
appreciate
case you didn't notice that. Finishing position, really not bad. Yeah, sometimes you tend to pop up a little bit, but the more you help, the more you pop up. So I'm not worried about the popping up. Okay, as far as a plant versus a slide, I think the main disadvantage of planting, 2 of them in my eyes. 1, it gives the body sensation of being a little bit later through the release because when your foot stops, the ball's further back. Because when you hit heel first, your foot stops instead of slide. Okay. 2, it can be a little bit tougher on your knee.
And that's a bad knee to start with.
Okay. So, and I wouldn't even have you work on the slide unless you work on getting the timing a little bit less late.
Okay.
And notice I didn't say perfect timing, I said less late.
Less late.
Okay. If we watch in real-time motion, you can see step 2 is a little bit hesitant almost. Let your feet go slow to give the ball more time.
Now, I don't know if you remember, but last time I was here, at the time, we talked about the fact that my third step, you even said to me,
It was very short.
Is that even a step? Remember, my left foot almost...
It's much better. In fact, I can show you that even. Because I remember we worked on that last time.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Here you are. If you watch the original shot from last time, so it would be that third step,
Yeah.
which is now your second. But watch last time, I think it's this shot here, if I remember right. We had worked on that, walking through that a little bit better, and see how that was better. Okay. So it's way better now. It's now your second step. Hey, look at that.
And
That's really a lot better.
Yeah.
And bowling is more about using your legs than your upper body. So when you have that really short step, you're losing momentum with your low body. Okay. So that's really not bad. Don't be surprised or alarmed that when we get that ball in motion a little bit more effectively at the start, you might feel quicker. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a higher ball speed. I've worked with lots of people, a little bit later timing, and I think your body is catching up slightly with a lower backswing. I wouldn't be surprised your backswing goes up, but your ball speed does not go up. Okay. What I really like in your game, one, it's a nice, simple game, which I like. There's nothing weird going on, which is a good thing. You're also repeating it very well, which the stats prove. But you're pushing it, you're a little bit later than you should be, causing what you don't like on the lane. Okay? So we're going to work on getting that ball in motion a little bit better. Now, there's several ways to do that. And we could just think, with you might just think quicker arm. Sometimes when your body wants to push late, you think earlier, your body can rebel some. We can think get it down in the swing sooner. Okay? So there's several ways we can kind of fool your muscles, but I think that's just a little bit too long without motion of the arm.
Oh, no, I know that I take my whole first step, and in my mind I'm going, I'm not a 4-step, I'm a 3-step.
Swing-wise, you're almost a 3-step, even though you're walking 4 steps.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's what
So then you think about it, you have 3 steps complete a push and a swing when everybody else has 4.
Yeah. No, I know. And that's why whenever I watch on TV, it's like I'm trying to figure out exactly when they're doing it, because while that feels comfortable,
correct.
I know.
Yep. This shot here, a little bit better bounce the line, that back foot stayed down, so that's why I said I'm not worried about the balance. I'm really not worried about your balance, because it's good most of the time. A little bit different angle here, so we're going to work on getting that ball in motion better on 1.
See, that was really low backswing.
But you think if the backswing went up higher, you'd be even later coming to the release. I think the body is smart enough to figure things out. Okay? I would do a lot of the stuff at home with a mirror, because you're seeing that you're later than you felt. Muscles can be liars. Video or mirrors aren't.
Right. Right. No, you're...
Okay? You can even think,
Perception is not reality.
Right.
Is what
Yes, exactly.
Perception is not reality.
You can kind of trick your brain with words, instead of thinking 1, 2, not that you have to count your steps, but you can think out, down. Just trying what the ball's doing. And the more you think out, the less likely it's going to stay steady. Okay? But it's going to feel like a much quicker motion. This is delayed, which feels like it's less delayed than you're seeing. And you know how that works. You have to exaggerate to the opposite. So if you're too late or too slow, you got to be earlier or quicker. Okay? Let's go to back view. Back view stuff should look decent with you. We're going to talk about something with the footwork. Overall drift, not much. Swing path looks very nice, so there's no issue there. We can clean up the footwork. And what I mean by that, I'm not sure if we talked about this last time or not. Usually we want this right step to come in slightly, laterally.
Right.
Okay? I'm going to pull up, we will use Ozio for the back view for this. Okay. See how that step came almost in front, didn't
Right,
really
so
cross over.
right, walking the beam, walking
Correct.
the line is what.
He has a slot for his ball to swing under his shoulder past the leg without it hurting.
And
You don't.
I bounce the ball off my leg periodically.
Now, watch his next step. It just kind of stays in line. It doesn't cross back in, but it's pretty straight. You're going to have to go left. And see how you get that knee out of the way right at the last second? Your body is smart.
Yeah.
Because your body knows if I hit myself repeatedly in the leg with a bowling ball, it's not going to feel good. So you're having to, it looks like more of a dramatic step left there. Imagine if that first step was in a couple boards.
Then I could walk straight.
Exactly.
In fact, that's what I really thought I was doing.
Yep.
That's pretty funny.
You can do that at home with a mirror. Mirror to the front. You're just taking one step and stopping. You can even do the ball if you wanted. Whereas you set up, you want to see that step kind of come in front a little bit. Yep. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? So then you start to see what you're feeling, and then you associate what you're doing with what you're seeing. Because what you're seeing now isn't what you're feeling.
No, yeah.
Okay? And that can make for a little bit more fluidity with the footwork. Okay? Make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
The rest of the steps are fine, by the way. So there's no difference there. Obviously, he's going to slide, but the direction was the same. So no big issue.
Now let me show you. Show me. Watch. Do me again.
Okay.
And I'll show you something. My hand is in great position right there.
We're going to get to the hand on the next shot of a close-up.
Okay.
I knew you were going to notice that ahead of time.
Absolutely.
Now, I know for a fact, because I fight being late, the later I am, the more I turn early. When I'm less late, I stay behind the ball better without even trying.
Okay.
Muscle can promote early turn. So you can imagine the later you are, the more you pull to catch up, the more early turn is going to happen. And I agree, your hand position is really quite good for the majority of your swing until the last couple tenths of a second.
Yep.
Watch this, even in slow motion, you can see how that step almost goes to the right. Right there, see that? That's why we use video. Hard to feel. Hands fine.
I look so good there.
Yes, you do.
I mean, I really do.
I
That's
agree.
exactly where I want to be.
You're still good there. Right there, you're getting a little early turn. If here's the center, you can see you're around early. Okay, so right before the thumb comes out, yes, you're around early.
And my hand's over the equator, above the equator, which is one of the reasons.
You're
You know what I'm
close.
saying? Okay.
You're close. Here's the equator. I mean, we're talking
Kinda hard to tell.
fraction of an inch.
Okay.
So that's not too bad. Let's pull up Carolyn. Did I put her on your last one?
No.
Okay, let's pull her up. Release. Where's a good release shot of Carolyn? Let's see here. I can't remember which shot is which here. Nope. Here we go. She hates when I show that because it makes her butt look big, but
Yeah, well, I understand.
actually that's the one she has tape on her fingers, so I'm going to use a different one. She has black tape, so it looks like she doesn't have any fingers there.
Oh,
She
I
actually had fingers. So I'm going to use, and she hates when I show her in jeans, so do not tell her. Oh, good, I don't have to use that because there's no back view. Let's see. I know I have another back. Here we go. She's in jeans. Don't tell her. Okay. She's a little bit above the equator,
Yeah, she's, you know.
but she's a little bit more behind it. If we look at the direction the back of the hand is facing, she's a little bit more back here, a little bit more to the side. So you have a little bit more early turn than she does. Okay? Her rev rate is about the same or a hair lower than yours, but she has a little bit more effective ball motion because she's staying behind it better. She's not as late as you. Although she fights being late too, so you're in a lot of good company.
Okay.
Now, I still think it's more of a timing issue causing the early turn. It's not so much a release issue. Now that being said,
Did you film all the throws?
I filmed 5 or 6.
Did you happen to film the one of that one good one, the one where this one, 17?
Probably that was a side view, not
Okay.
the back view.
That was number 5.
But the back, this shot here was after the Greek church, and this was a good shot.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if we get you a little bit less late in timing and everything else is in place, and you still feel like you're turning early, that's where you think about keeping that palm out of the target. Don't even worry about rotation.
I actually think about that now.
Because you're still going to rotate, because I must remember, we're trying to delay when that rotation happens, and we're talking 0.3 of a second. Okay?
Yeah.
You can imagine that there's a center line on the ball. And sensation-wise, you're going to imagine that your ring finger stays a hair inside of the center line through your release. If this was shifted over a half an inch even, you'd have a little bit stronger ball motion. And a half an inch doesn't sound like much. That's a big difference when you're working on release. So little things can make big differences.
Oh, absolutely. Because obviously, it's been 3 years. I still feel the same. I mean, I'm still fighting the same thing.
Correct. Yep. And muscle memory is very strong, especially with those of us that have bowled for a long time.
It's interesting. Actually, the grip here is a little bit different than the grip on my other ball. I've gone. That used to have a lot more forward in the thumb. This has less. The span is less. In fact, so that's just one thing. But the other thing is, recently I've been online and Bill Hall has his tri-grip.
The tri-grip.
And there's the other guy that does the Max Y. There's a Max Y grip.
Okay.
And I've been talking to people going, do you think a tri-grip would help me stay?
It's kind of like an offset thumb.
Yeah, that's what people talk.
Okay. So it does get the ball a little bit more behind it, but we don't want you behind it and not able to get around it.
Right.
Because then you'd have end over end, and you'd be leaving 8-10s, 5-7s, 5-10s hitting the pocket, which we don't want.
Right.
Okay. I would, as you work on stuff, you have to be careful about changing too many things at once. So if you went to try to change your timing a little bit and then change your grip at the same time,
that would not be. No, I understand what you're saying.
You don't know what's changing what.
Right. And I understand. I see on film, and I know when I'm really late.
Right.
I'm pulling the hell out of
Correct.
the ball, and I know I can't throw a good ball if I'm doing that.
Correct. And that's where you have to have the discipline to say, oh, you idiot. You don't want to say, oh, you idiot, you're pulling it. Stop pulling it. You think, okay, get the ball in motion better on the first step.
No, I just say, you idiot, get the I get yellow.
Exactly, but then you're trying to correct a result. You're not correcting what's causing that result you don't like.
Right. I at that point.
Now, way easier said than done.
Yes.
Because I did the same thing.
Yeah. And I'm old.
Right.
It's just,
Exactly.
And I have,
Yeah.
one of the things recently, and I gotta throw this out. When I roll the ball, I've been trying to open my hand.
Okay.
Just let the ball roll off the hand.
Exactly. And that's a good way. You're trying to have a ball, the roll. It's not a throw, it's a roll.
Right. But 20 years, it's you hit up on the ball.
Well, back in your thing, you kind of had to make it move on certain conditions.
That's
you don't have to do that anymore.
I know, but that's
Exactly.
what we're talking about muscle.
Correct. Right here, I got your thumb out, your fingers are still in, so good thumb finger separation. That's all good. Okay, so like I said, there's way more good than bad. I think you're a little later than you should be.
Okay.
Period.
So
Okay. So we're going to work on getting that in motion a little bit better. Okay. All right, let's stop the disc here.